The way that they've fixed the gutter to the fascia was by drilling a hole in the top here, which is obviously ripped open. And you can see here that this is the hole where the screw actually was fitted into originally, and this is another one underneath. Now we're not sure what that's all about, but we've basically filled up, you know, like re-drilled the holes and filled up both holes. And this is one that we'll be re-drilling to fix the gutter back up to where it should be. The gutter's supposed to be sitting up around about this position, and the bolt just goes into that area there, which is around about there. So we've got to come up with some type of strategy to fix this up. Now, the problem you had was how to secure this back on. We could actually probably re-drill holes, but I thought, well, that's not really a great solution. So we're going to make up a fitting that'll utilize this ridge in the gutter here so that we can secure to that position there, where it should be, and lock this gutter into the fascia, and keep it there. What we're looking at is using this piece of aluminium. It's 6mm thick, and again we can put a hole in the top and we can cut a groove that will slot into that ridge there and secure that on and hold this gutter up into right its position where it should be. So the ridge itself is sitting at about 3mm. That's how deep our groove has got to be. Right, to get a rough idea of the width at the back there, we're just going to use our dividers, and we'll make it just a fraction wider, so it slots in there and holes. So we've got to make it about 3mm deep, and whatever that measurement turns out to be. This is a piece of material that we're going to be using. As I said earlier, it's about 6mm thick, and what we're going to do is just square that off. So we've got some reference surfaces that we can use. Do we really have to do that? Probably not, but it'll look nicer. This is the self-tapper that came out of the hole, and this is what was used to hold the actual gutter up. Some interesting things here. That's 50mm long from there to there, and the fascia is only 20mm. So I think it was a little bit of an overkill, or this is the only bolt they had or something. So we're going to replace it with this one. This one's a little bit over 20mm, and probably just a little bit smaller in diameter, but it should work well because we've got this large area here, on the head, which when screwed down will hold on to that quite firmly and lock it into the fascia, but also make it very secure for the gutter to be held in. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of set this up so it's sitting level with the parallel there on the top. And I'm just going to lock that down. We're just going to go across there and just trim that down so it's flat. So I'm just going to get that collet set into there and screw that down, just lock it in a bit. And just nip that up so it's firm. So I've got a collet here that should fit that okay, so we'll use that one. So you undo that nut, lock your collet in, and then do that up. Just so you feel a bit of tension, so just tighten that up until it locks on to the cutter, and sure we just mill that down. So I'm just going to go through and take off the burr and edges all around the edges like that. So now we've got a reference surface, so now I can put that on the parallel and get this one right set up. Bring it back over again. Clean up that area, and then we'll do the sides. We'll deburr the edges, just so it's sitting flat and square inside the vise. I would like to go around a couple of times to make sure we've got all the burrs off. If you feel it with your finger, you can tell if you've still got burrs on there. That looks pretty good. What we have now is that we want to do, we've done the two long edges so they're parallel, but these edges here are rough on both sides. So what we're going to do here is mount that on top in the middle of the vise. Just going to kind of just do it up right there, so it's still fairly loose, you know, things are still able to move around a bit. Now I've got a wider parallel here, which we're going to use as our reference to our square edges. Now we're going to just lock that in like that and rest it on the parallel that's underneath, and once you do that, I'm just using that as a square, and that should give us at least a good right angle from the longer side to the narrower side. So you can see here we've got to adjust a few things here. That's already up, so now we've got to lower the knee. Loosen it. Bring that across just to make sure, yeah, it's a bit high, so we'll leave it at that. And orientate your cutter, and then bring it down so it's just sitting above the work, and just adjust it so it's kind of centered, or place the center as you want it, about there, and bring that up, and then you can bring it to one end. Alright, start the machine, bring it down to the twist cuts, again. Cutting there, pop that. Again. I'll put this back down in the vise, so certainly don't want any birds on there. You must make sure that you clean the vise inside and your parallels, not between each of these cuts. You probably may have seen me do that earlier on the camera, but if you haven't, otherwise you're going to get swarf net caught under your parallels and it's going to slow things out. So now we've got a rough edge, we've got a rough edge here, and we've got the smooth edge here, and that should all be square or very close to square. So we'll bring that in like that, just so it's just a bit loose. Now we can check it with our parallel, and it's sitting perfect. So we're pretty much on the money there with the squareness. Alright, so come back in again. Try to get everything lined up again. So we'll bring it in. And they cut it so it's kind of sitting where it should be. Bring it down, and it's pretty much middle. So we'll bring it up, turn it on, bring it down until we just touch it again. Bring it out, and just go for the light run through to make sure not any large high spots. And again, we'll load this end. Alright, so what we're going to do now is just work out where we're going to put the hole in for the bolt here. The head of that is 10, 11, 12, 13, about 13 right millimetre across. So what we need to do is, is move the hole down so the head of the bolt sits flush and square on here. So we've got 30 mil across. We'll call that 14 mil. So we've just got a little bit of space up the top here. And we'll measure down 14 mil, and then we'll put a line across, and then we just got to find our centre, and then we can drill our hole through. If you divide 14, it should be about 7 mil. So I'm just going to come on to the edge here, and you see I'm just using pencil, like this is not critical. Get that there, and then do the same here. You probably see here that I've measured down 7, and I could have just easily drawn a line down there. The other way that I could do it, because I squared everything up, is that I can adjust this, adjust it to 7 mil, so 5, about there, so 5, 6, 7, and just draw a line straight across. You can see here that they actually lined up spot on with our little measurement with the ruler, but that's probably a more accurate way of actually doing it, and you know, that's where these small squares come in.